Good morning, everyone. Welcome to JP's Morning Brief for March 4th, 2026. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I know it's pretty early here. I got to bed about 12:30 last night. I was at a watch party wow, that was crazy. So I got home about 11:45 last night because the get from Copper's Cove to Gatesville, everyone takes 116, okay, FM 116, if you know, right? So they left with a vote from Copper's Cove to bring it to Gatesville, and there was a wreck that closed FM 116 North last night. Um, and we thought it was clear. Evidently, these people with the votes decided to go around about a 20-mile round trip to go around or something. But so we thought it was cleared up. And they said, James, just go on home. We closed up everything, said our congratulations to the people that were winning or going into a runoff. So I'm like, I'm taking off. I get on 116. I'm going home. I pass 580, and there's the wreck. It was an 18-wheeler, looked like a fueler. Uh, it was jackknifed and crashed on 116. I had to turn around and go back about. I had to do like a 10-mile detour just to get home last night. So I'm tired. I wrote all this up. It's good to go. Thank you all very much for tuning in and letting me vent a little bit. I appreciate it. Um, as we're getting started, if you have not followed our page, please click that follow button. All right, and then like us, and also chat with us in the or me chat with me in the chat. I right now. I'm gonna put a Texas flag because we had our primaries last night. So there, I put a Texas flag in the live chat. Follow suit if you want. You can do American flag or give me a comment or something like that. Okay, and then and then share the podcast if you want. Okay, so America 250. So I got two things just to tell you on America 250. Yesterday was the beginning of the battle in Nassau, Bahamas. Is the first ever um, amphibious landing by Marines from the United States, or back then it was Continental Marines. And the day is the day that in the evening time is they captured Nassau. All right. Uh, they were there. I don't know if it's going back come back when I do my daily searches. They were there for 2 weeks, and then they left with a good supply of powder and weapons and brought them back to New England. That's where they went back to. And then on the Boston part, uh, we have fully occupied Dorchester and Leechmere Point, and they got some cannon there from Fort Ticonderoga, and they're actually firing into Boston. Uh, Not as much as they want because they need to get some more of the cannons from Fort Ticonderoga set up and to fire because they're longer range cannons. All right, so that's what's going on. The battle for liberation of Boston is still ongoing through the 17th of March is when the end date is. All right, um, and then we have Iran that's going on. We have our Texas primary that's going on. I usually tell you all about Dalmatian Burger Group. I'll tell you really quick, okay, before we get, because I'm hungry. I need to eat some breakfast. This would be good right now, but they're closed. All right, they do smash burgers right here in Copper's Cove, and if you're in the vicinity today, they open up at 11 o'clock for to make the burgers and hot dogs. They're really good. They're on the west side of Cove, behind Bush's Chicken. Give them a try at 11 o'clock to 2, or wait till 5:30. They open back up, and they're open till 7. All right, and you need to see. You need to see Corey or Steven. They're the owners. All right. So let's see, Iran, and then we'll get into Texas stuff. There was the media. There we go. All right. So before I go there, there's been 4 identified um, soldiers that died in Kuwait at the port of Kuwait. They were killed by a drone, I believe. But these guys are from the 103rd Systemic Command in Des Moines, Iowa. They were Army Reserve, not Army National Guard. You had let's see, you had Captain up in the upper left hand corner. You had Captain Cody Cork. Then the young lady on the bottom left is Sergeant First Class Nicole Armour. And then the gentleman in the upper right is Sergeant First Class Noah Titians. And then the young man on the bottom right is Sergeant DeClang Cody. All right. So those are to be with their prayers with their parents and their spouses and their relatives as they mourn them. All right. That's a hard thing to go through sometimes. A lot of times. A lot of times. Been through too much of it. It says here the Department of War on Monday identified 4 of the 6 Army Reserve soldiers that died March 1st. Drone attack, it was a drone, in Kuwait while supporting Operation Epic Fury. The soldiers were killed at the port of Shubai during what officials described as an unmanned aircraft system attack. All were assigned to 103rd Systemic Command in Des Moines, Iowa, which provides logistical and operational support to U.S. forces overseas. The fallen service members are Captain Cody Cork, 35 of Lakeland, Florida, Sergeant First Class Nicole Omar, 39 of White Bear Creek, Minnesota, Sergeant First Class Noah Tejans, 42 of Bellevue, Nebraska, and Sergeant DeClang Cody, 20 of Des Moines, Iowa. 2 additional soldiers in the attack have not yet been publicly identified. Lieutenant General Robert Harter, Chief of Army Reserve and Commanding General of the U.S. Army Reserve Command, said the loss is deeply felt in the force. We honor our fallen heroes who served fearlessly and selflessly in the defense of our nation, and their sacrifice and the sacrifices of their families will not be forgotten. And officials said that soldiers were supporting operations in the region when the drone strike occurred. Um, so it says here, Captain Cork joined the National Guard. Oh, he was an enlistment and went to OCS. Okay, so he'd been in Captain Cork, the guy in the upper left. He was been in the Army since 2009, but he joined the Army as a MLRS crew member, which is used to be called a 13 bike, and as a police officer. Wow, as an MP. All right, that's what my wife was in the Army. All right, so we'll get back to these guys at noon. In Iran, what came out this morning that I got written down as um, as an update, what's going on. Um, the Democrats are against the Iraqi operation. I believe is due to the hatred of President Trump, because if you look back 2011 of Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi, she's no longer the speaker, but she was stated that she gave full support to the 7-month bombing campaign that Barack Obama conducted against people in Libya. You do the same type of campaign in Iran, but have a Republican president, it's a completely different story. So The Democrats can't have it both ways. They have to make a decision on what they do want to support, their party, or do they want to support the United States. I look at it like that. In Israel this morning, the Israeli Air Force over the skies of Tehran, uh, one of their F-35s recorded the first aerial uh, dogfight and shoot down of an enemy jet in F-35 in its recorded history. All right, even though we all know that F-35 is a new jet, but they got the first kill. Uh, Iran warns Israel's warning um, that the next person that gets appointed the Ayatollah or spiritual leader in Iran, he's a marked man. So I would say keep it under wraps if you don't want to die. Don't go public with it. Okay, you could be the secret Ayatollah, and nobody will know about it. If not, you'll have a 2,000-pound bomb drop on top of you. Uh, Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar was struck by a missile last night, and the Pakistan just came out a little while ago. The U.S. embassy in Pakistan was evacuated. All right, um, and there was a missile attack from uh, Hezbollah forces in southern Lebanon into Israel. At the same time, there was another missile attack from Iran to Israel. They said it might have been coordinated, and then Israeli ground forces are pushing into southern Lebanon as we speak. All right. Uh, so that is the update for Iran right now. Now we're going to get into the meat of the thing, politics. All right. Uh, I hope y'all stick around. This is going to be just a few minutes. But yesterday we had our Texas primary for the November Olympics. Yeah, November elections. All right, and then so Governor Abbott won his renomination for his fourth term in office. He had 1.4 million Republican votes in his favor, and the Democrat Gina Hinosa, she and her compadres garnered about 1.2 million Democrats that voted. So that will tell you there are more Republicans in Texas than Democrats. So don't let them fool you. All right. Uh, so so the big highlight of yesterday's um, primary was Dan Crenshaw got beat. Um, he got beat. Let's see, second congressional district. He got 39% of the vote, and Steve Toth that beat him got 57% of the vote. It wasn't even close. That will tell you if you don't support President Trump, count your days, because Republicans and conservative Republicans that care for our country and support our president will find a way to defeat you. And there are more coming, right? There are more coming. Governor Abbott got approximately 82% of the vote. His nearest challenger only got almost 11%. And that would be Pete Doc Chambers. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick did better than Governor Abbott. Dan Patrick got 85% of the vote, and his nearest challenger got 8.5%. It was a wash, right? Uh, our Attorney General's office, our Attorney General race, um, there was a big election there because Ken Paxton's running for the U.S. Senate. Mays Middleton, an oil man from West Texas, got 40% of the vote, and Chip Roy, Congressman Chip Roy, is vacating his seat in the Congress at the end of his term, and he got 31%. But in Texas, if you don't receive 50% of the vote plus one, there is a mandatory runoff, which is going to be the 26th of May, 83 days from now. All right. So Middleton and Roy are going to have a runoff. And then our comptroller, which is our treasurer, uh, it's Don Huffines won without a runoff. He got 57% against the acting comptroller right now, Kelly Hancock. That's who I voted for, but he only got 23%. Uh, in the Texas Senate race, U.S. Senate race, John Cornyn, he got 42%, about 42.72 to be exact, and Ken Paxton got 40.33. Them two will be in the May runoff, and Wesley Hunt has already conceded. Sid Miller, my old friend Sid Miller, got beat by Nate Sheets, a newcomer to Texas elected politics. He's always been behind the scene. He defeated Sid Miller by 5 points, 52 to 47. And in the railroad commissioner's race, a friend of mine, Beau French, got 31.99, and Jim Wright, the existing railroad commissioner, he got 32.11. So they were like 10 votes off, I guess. They're going to go into a runoff. So I told y'all about Dan Crenshaw. Dan Crenshaw got beat 57 to 39. Pat Fallon. Pat Fallon's a congressman from North Texas, CD4. He won his primary 80% to 20%. And I know why, because he's very popular, right? Very popular. Uh, Jake Easley, he's just south of Dallas. This is his reelection, I believe. His first. He won his primary 68 to 48, 68.48 to 19%. Now, CD7. CD7 I talked about yesterday and I talked about it last week. This is the race where, nope, that's not it. His name is Alexander Calais, right? He is the fake Republican. His entire family is a Democrat with hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations to Democrats. And on the other side of the aisle is an unopposed Democrat waiting in the wings to run in November. In this race, he decided for his first time ever, he's running as a Republican, but his whole family is Democrat. And it just, people popping red star clusters and stuff. And it made the national news. And he said, "No, I'm a Republican. I've always been one, but there's no voting evidence of him ever voting in a Republican primary." So my deal is, this is why we need a closed primary in the state of Texas, and we're only one of 14 that are still around. But so what we're thinking is that he was running to make the other Republicans spend money, and possible that he gets nominated to make it easier for the lady on the other side to get elected to Congress. Well, it ain't going to happen because Calais got beat soundly last night, but there's going to be a runoff between Hale and Cohen. Uh, uh, I forgot his name. Is it Michael Hale? I wrote down last names. Um, Alexander Hale is in the lead at 45% to a young lady named Cohen at 27%. And then Briscoe Kane is in second place in CD9, 37 to 30. Mealer versus Kane, they're going to the runoff. Ronnie Jackson, Admiral Ronnie Jackson, he was a presidential doctor for several presidents. I knew him when I used to be with the White House, and he won his primary 89.68 to 10.32. Uh, in CD 21, the seat that Chip Roy has right now that he's vacating to run for Texas Attorney General, um, Mark Teixeira, a new Texan, long enough here, he used to be a Texas Ranger and a New York Yankee, and he's retired, and he decided he's running for Congress as a Republican. He won't have to go through a runoff. He won the primary last night against Mr. Cahill, 61.41 to 10.11, soundly. We trust him. He's a conservative, and he's going to be in Congress. Uh, CD 23. Okay, this is the one with Tony Gonzalez. He is the one that had an affair, and the girl he had an affair with killed herself. Uh, and a bunch of text just materialized. Well, he's in a runoff with Mr. Herrera, but Gonzalez has only got 43% of the vote, and Mr. Herrera's got 42%. Uh, so I have a feeling that Herrera is going to win that race. In my congressional district, 31, this was disparity. Oh my goodness. Okay, John Carter, 84 years old, won the primary for reelection. He got 57%, almost 58% of the vote, and that is why uh, Valente Gomez and Vince Offer Shamwow took 12% of the vote from the rest of the contenders, which made it easier to force him, to keep him from having a runoff. Uh, Valente Gomez, she's a 26-year-old female that moved here from Missouri to run for Congress. She doesn't even have a real address. She used a post office box in Nolanville. Then when all vote was counted, Gomez had 9.08% of the vote, and Raymond Hamden, that spent, I believe, close to $40,000 or $50,000 for this race, uh, came in third at 8.92%. So John Carter is going to be in the November election without a runoff. Uh, and then in Congressional District 34, Mayor Flores was trying to make a comeback to get reelected into the Congress. Um, but President Trump um, endorsed Eric Flores. So we had two Floreses that spelt their last name exactly the same way, ran against each other in the Republican primary. Eric Flores won at 56% of the vote, so there will not be a runoff in that race. He goes straight to uh, uh, November election. And I don't know who the Democrat is for that one. I think it's what's his name? He just got pardoned by the president, but Eric Flores should win. Um, so, and then if you're just wondering about who won out of James Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett, uh, Tallarico won with 51% of the vote. I think it was 51%. And then Jasmine Crockett had 46%. So no runoff. And then Crockett, she's retiring because she's out of district. She didn't run for Congress. She lost her Senate primary and she's done. Locally, we had Ernest Wilkerson defeated Louis Minor 64-36. And you're like, who is this? Well, Louis Minor was the Democrat on the Bell County Commissioner's Court, seat 4, and he was known as pushing a uh, marijuana referendum in Killeen and Harker Heights, and he also hung. He's gay. He hung a LBGT flag from his office outside the Bell County Courthouse, and his spouse's, I forgot who it was, but he got beat, so we don't have to worry about him after January. In Coryell County, we're already at 6:55. Wow. Um, in Coryell County, there's going to be a runoff for the county judge. Uh, Judge Miller came in second place, which usually, if tradition holds in Texas, that if you are the incumbent and you're not in first place when it comes to runoff, you're going to get beat. So Rob Irwin got 40, almost, he missed about 44 votes to get 50% plus one. Uh, and then Commissioner seat two, Scott Weddle, the incumbent, got 49.76, and Tully Myers got 20.91. They'll meet in May. County Commissioner seat four, Keith Taylor lost his bid for re-election because he didn't come in first or second place in that race. That will be between Ray Ashby with almost 38% and Justin Smith that almost got 22% of the vote. Becky Moore. Let me tell you about Becky Moore. Well, first I'll go back to that one. In the JP2 race in Coryell County, Judge Bill Price handily defeated Joey Ifaji 81-19, right? But the highlight of all the races was Becky Moore for district clerk. That was the watch party I went to last night. And Rob Irwin showed up later on for the rest of the vote count, and he figured it out. Man, I missed a going straight out win by 44 votes, but Becky Moore, she invited me and my wife to come out there. I was the only one who went out there. I helped them tabulate votes and crunch numbers and what we needed to get for a win and stuff. It was great. There was a lot of nice people there. We had the early vote count, and then we had the first update. Then we heard about the wreck, and then we're waiting and waiting, and I'm like, 9:30. I'm going home. I got to do show prep, but about 9:30, Rob enters in, and then he was like, James, stick around. It might be like 10 more minutes. And I'm like, okay, I'll give y'all 10 more minutes. And I'm tired. And then about 9:40, I'm checking out. I'm out of here. I'll see y'all later. And then Becky, she goes, I just got an email. I just got an email or a text from Justin Crothers. He will have everything posted by 9:55. The post comes up. I saw it before everyone else did. And I'm like, Becky, come here. I already saw the vote count and said, come here. We have an update. She came over and we started writing down the votes, and she's in shock. And she won. Okay, her percentage is 74.59 to 25.41. You're like, those are percentage numbers, right? She won by, let me tell you exactly what she won by. This was awesome. She was crying last night. It was so cool. Um, a buddy of mine, he just sent me a text message. Pints and Politics, a respectable news outlet. For the most part, Rich, it is, okay? Okay, so let me show you this real quick. Gallery. I took a picture of it. Okay, so the second update. Okay, guys, check it out. The second update is Becky Moore is 4,509, right? She won by like 3,000 votes last night. 3,000 votes. This was her second re-election bid. I'll show you one more time. Man, she had told me. I said, "What are you crying for, Becky? You won." And she said, "I cannot believe I just did this." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, I had four competitors when I first ran 8 years ago, and I ran unopposed 4 years ago, and I did not expect to have an opponent this time, and I won." And she won by 3,025 votes. That was great. That was great. That made it all worth it. Just seeing that, man. So yeah, she won by 74.59 to 25.41 against Lisa Roebuck, and that was a very, from what I saw down here, way down in Coppersville, that was a gentleman's race. There was there was no fur flying or dirt or anything. It was just a really good political race, and the best person won, and it was Becky Moore. So I would say it like this: congratulations, Becky Moore, for your outstanding 3,000 vote win in the Coryell County District Clerk race. Congratulations for your next 4 years. So that is my rundown right now for the morning brief, which went 30 minutes, 31 minutes, which is pretty good, right? I could have went a whole lot deeper into this, but it was great. Uh, I got to start building for the JPA report, so that'd be cool. So join me in that. I'm not even going to give my socials because everybody knows my socials. My wife is going to get ready to leave, so I want to go say bye to her. All right. So I hope everybody has a good morning, and I will see y'all at noon. So this is James Pierce with the morning brief through the JPA report, and I will catch you on the flip side. I'm out.